Hey, everybody! Welcome to All Things Music, episode number 46. Man, this is going really quick. I began this thing in January 1st, actually. As you've heard me say, that, they said you gotta stick it out because it takes time to grow and build and everything and get an audience and get feedback and get things moving along and interaction and getting noticed and things like that. So, I'm doing this. I'm doing this twice a week, every Saturday and Wednesday at 1 o'clock. An all new episode of All Things Music coming at you. Uh, it's been a busy day, I'll tell you. We had to run, and I had a doctor's appointment for my juvenile arthritis, and that's all going well. I'm doing the Xeljanz, and it's keeping me moving along. And we had some lab work and stuff like that. We got home. My wife is going to attempt to go out and do some singing tonight, and so we're going to head over there in a little bit. But I wanted to make sure that I get a video in. And, this one was a little bit tricky. It's Integrity and the Musician, episode 46. Recently, and this is what inspired it, is I'm not going to name names. I looked back in my notes because I keep outlines and things. I do a lot of work for these videos, believe it or not. And so, I research a lot and I put the time into putting an outline together. And so it's not like I'm just turning the camera on and running off the cuff. And sometimes I do, some of that and sometimes not so much. But I plan even that out to some degree. Well, this week, somebody that is well known, has a huge following, has been around quite a while, has obviously had the time to build. He gets money and had time to build, a nice little studio, get some equipment that could really enhance his videos. And, I'm not there yet. I know that. And I know that, I'm just beginning. I'm only a couple months into this. But a lot of you guys that are commenting are really liking the topics. I'm trying to pick topics that would relate. So anyway, long story short is this individual did a video on burning out and burnout in the musician. And what happened was, which isn't so bad, 13 episodes ago, episode 33, I did a song called Help, I'm Burning Out. Now, I know that, we're all going to do topics that will overlap. I mean, there's certain things that all musicians deal with. But what happened was that this person actually took my every point that I made and put it into theirs. They basically copied the whole thing. So, I wanted to do a video on that without making anybody, feel overly ashamed or whatever. But here's the thing, and I did this. I went to Oxford and I looked up the definition of integrity. And what Oxford says is integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. Moral uprightness. And then there was another definition. Number 2 was the state of being whole and, where am I here? Undivided, I'm sorry. Whole and undivided. As in, like, national sovereignty. And so, and it's true, and it's absolutely true. And I divided this, just to talk about 3 different areas. The first being personal, okay? And it does bring moral into the definition. Now, in the Bible, as you guys, many of you know, and if you don't, you'll know now, I went to college for, my undergrad work is in counseling, social work, clinical counseling. And then I went and got my master's in biblical theology, or my master's of theology, THM, in pastoral theology, my doctorate in biblical counseling. But You know, on a personal level, the first thing is when you get to college like that, and especially as you go higher, um, you sign these things when you go in there, and you say, you know, I won't plagiarize. I won't copy another person's work and pass it off as my own. Um, and there is that. And then when you get to the Bible and you're getting ready to go into a public ministry of whatever kind, you come to the sections that talk about this, like in First Timothy 3 and Titus 1, where, you know, there's qualities that a minister must have. Whether you're a counselor or, you know, a pastor or a youth pastor or even a music ministry. But, you know, there's criteria, there's qualifications for the minister. And all but one or two have to do with personal integrity. Does he run his household well? What how do people look at him in the community? What kinds of things do people say about you? You know, you want to be the type of person that even if somebody hates you, they can't find anything wrong to say about you that, you know, unless they make it up. And people do that. We see that every day online. But, you know, so that there's that personal integrity, just being honest, being somebody that's trustworthy. And you get a reputation of being somebody that is trustworthy because of the honesty. Then you get into like there's what's called group integrity. Like if you're in an organization, or I would even say probably a band would work. You know, when you're in a band, and if you're doing, and I've been on the radio before, and I've been interviewed before, and when you're asked questions, you're representing the band that you're in, or sometimes you're representing an organization, or maybe your church if you're a counselor in a church or a pastor in a group of elders in a church. Whatever it is, you're representing that group. You know, when I'm out with my wife, I'm an extension of her, and if I act like a jerk or I do something that is not moral or upright, or, you know, sticking to our definitions, if it's something that's not good, that's going to reflect on her and vice versa. So I'm very careful about that. I don't want to bring a bad name, obviously, to myself, but I certainly don't want to bring a bad name to her or make her in any way look bad. So there's the group aspect of that. As a musician, I like to bring it to the music side. As a musician, now, you know, in an earlier video, I talked about this, that my allergies are acting up. Um, when you know, when we're young and we're listening to bands and we find that style, that genre, and maybe even one particular band that we really like and we listen to them a lot. I'm 51. I turned 51 in March. I've been a musician since high school. Um, and a lot of the music that I listened to in high school, I'm still listening to and loving. So, I mean, yeah, I have varied, and my tastes have broadened a bit. But, you know, basically, I still like the same stuff I was listening to back then, the same style. Different lyrics now. But at any rate, you know, when you do that, your playing and your writing is going to reflect the people that you are influenced by. You know, when I tell people my influences are early, like the Ramones or Social Distortion or Typo Negative or Theater of Tragedy, Savior Machine on the Christian side, The Awakening, Etched in Night, Babylon Mystery Orchestra, Apologetics is a big one for me. You know, there's bands that I'm influenced by, and if they've heard of the bands, they will say, "Yeah, you know what? I hear that in your original songs." You're going to sound similar to the people that you're influenced by. That's okay. That happens. Um, you may have the same notes in a song as in another song. There's only seven to pick from, and so you can't really get too far away from that. But as in what happened recently, and I won't name this particular pop star, but she stole an entire song, and it's been talked about online. So I won't go into all that. But when you're blatantly stealing it's not good. So, if you're a songwriter or if you're doing anything in music, like, don't go trying to take other people's work and pass it off as your own. It's never a good thing. Not only does it make you look bad, because with the internet being so widely used, it's your videos are going to pop up and somebody's going to call you out at some point. Um, I like to bring in Bible verses every now and then. And Numbers 32:23 says that be sure that your sins will find you out. When you do wrong, it will come back to bite you. And I try to give credit. You guys saw when I did this first, when I did the definition, I cited Oxford Dictionary. So, when you write, don't go out of your way to. You can like something, but don't steal it and don't pass it off as your own. You want to always be honest. You want to represent yourself and your band in a good way. Don't bring shame to anybody. And be of good character. Do the right thing. Enjoy playing music, enjoy writing music. And, if you do get a riff or something that sounds very similar, make sure that you cite, I got the idea from listening to whatever it is. So I'm not going to go long today, but that's about all I'm going to say on that. Is just you really want to make sure that you are acting in a way that is good and honest. You always want to be honest. When we're little kids and our parents would come into the room and they would say, did you eat any of those cookies? I know my mom said that when I was a kid. I couldn't just eat something, I had to wear it. So I would say no. Um, and so, I mean, it was obvious that it was all over my face. She knew I ate it. Not only did she hear me banging things around to get into the cookies, but I was wearing half of them. My wife would say that really hasn't changed a whole lot as I've gotten older, but whatever, another story. And so, I got a bit of a reputation as a kid as not being a truth teller, and that's not good because then nobody trusts you. The story of the boy who cried wolf. So, anyway, I'm going to end it here, but just, always do the right thing. Enjoy playing the music. Music is awesome. It should make us feel good, it should make the people listening to us feel good. Um, something appeals to somebody. Everything does. No matter what style and what genre and whatever we fit into. So we'll stop there, and hopefully you guys get something out of these videos. But definitely comment. Let me know if something similar has happened to you, or let me know what you think. How would you handle something like that if somebody completely ripped you off? Um, or do you think you've maybe done that before, and whether you knew about it or you didn't or whatever? Just leave a comment on any of these things, and let me know what your ideas are. So that is all for today. We'll be back Wednesday at 1 o'clock with all things music. And if you haven't yet, subscribe and hit the bell so that you get updates, because I'm on here a lot. So I'll keep uploading my bass playthroughs, and definitely check that out. And we'll have a new song coming up at 2 o'clock. Every time I do all things music at 1, I'm going to try to do a bass playthrough at 2 o'clock, a new one. So be watching for those too. And other than that, I'll see you guys Wednesday at 1 o'clock and then 2 o'clock for the song. And have a great rest of the weekend, and God bless.